Have you seen Paul Yeager's reports on our Facebook page? He's amazing and covering the butter cow story for us again this year.
Sarah Pratt is in year 13 of her butter cow, her 13th butter cow. And I'd say, does it seem like it's been 13 years? But of course you'll say, well, yes, I've aged or something, but you haven't at all. What is, in year 13, your motivation this year?
Well, the newest thing is that my daughters, who were only 2 years old the first year I started, are now 14 and in their second year of apprenticeship. So they are learning the trade now.
So Grace is here today, and it always appears that Grace is always with us. So we've gotten to see her grow up. And earlier, you were conversing with her and sharing Duffy stories.
She'd go outside the glass and she'd look at every little piece and she'd say, right there, and she'd like see this little spot right here, and she'd be like, right there, boom. So
and then she's like, I can't even see it from in here, but you can see it from out there.
She could.
Does that feel like all of a sudden the student has become the teacher, and now you've got another student?
I'm a teacher. That has always been who I was, and the art piece Duffy instilled in me. But she was also a teacher, and so passing that on and using that part of me to share that with my kids and then my students as well. It's part of the tradition.
Would Duffy just walk out of the cooler occasionally and just leave you be?
Yes.
When it got towards a certain point, she felt she trusted you enough?
Right. So there were, yes, when I got to be, especially college age, she would have an interview.
Morning, Duffy. Well, hi, how are you?
And I didn't want to be part of the interview, so I would stay and I would gladly continue working while she went and took care of that.
Very shallow.
This year's cow is a
Jersey cow.
Yeah, your favorite, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jersey. You also have, again, the complimentary accompanying sculpture. What's it going to be this year?
This year we're celebrating the 100th year of John Deere tractors. So we're sculpting the 1918 Waterloo Boy.
I know you've got a list and you look at things that plan. Was this one on the list, or somebody pointed out, oh, hey, there's an anniversary here?
You know, it's funny. I always have people, whether it's from my hometown or my parents, you know, suggesting things. And one of my parents' friends had said, by the way, did you know? You need to put a bug in Sarah's ear that it's going to be the 100th year. And so I said, oh, well, that is really great, because both of my grandparents, sets of my grandparents farmed, and I've always wanted to be a farm girl. So that appealed to me, of course. I put it on my list. And then when the fair sent their list, it was also on their list. So it was one of those things where, you know, a really well-placed suggestion, and wow, worked out. For me, I can look at pictures. Yeah. And that's one thing, but actually, like, seeing a cow in real life and holding its head, and you can feel like how its jaw fits in, and you pet, you know, cows will let you pet their heads, and you can kind of feel how it, you know, comes in. And so as a sculptor, actually be able to feel what you're sculpting, which is a challenge. Usually the theme sculpture, I don't have that benefit. So it's nice to be able to visit real cows.
Legacy is a term that I hear often, and working with public television, it's an easy thing to explain to people. My father started working with public television in 1971, the first highlight program.
Hello and welcome to the second evening of highlights of the great Iowa State Fair.
That legacy then continued on to what I would call Mr. Iowa, Mark Pearson.
Good evening and welcome to Fair 97. We're glad you can be with us.
I am thrilled and honored to be carrying on humbly that legacy. It's a real thrill, and again, an honor to do that.
Continue the legacy. Call 800-779-7000 or visit iptv.org today to do your part to help keep this tradition alive for years to come.